where Meghan Markle stands on writing a tell-all memoir ahead of the release of Harry's Spare. The royals are spiraling over the possibility of the Sussexes attending King Charles's coronation. A clip of Prince Harry's 60 Minutes interview is here, and it's incredibly dramatic. Trump feverishly defends perfect calls as Georgia decision looms. Influential evangelical Franklin Graham said he wouldn't be endorsing Trump in the primaries.
This is breaking news.
I'm Erin Burnett in Washington.
Where Meghan Markle stands on writing a tell-all memoir ahead of the release of Harry's Spare. In just days, Prince Harry's much-hyped memoir Spare will be released, and his 2 interviews with 60 Minutes and the UK's ITV will air. The Daily Mail, whose publisher's wife Meghan Markle sued and won her case against, reported that Harry isn't the only one who will drop an explosive memoir. Meghan, the outlet claimed, is said to be preparing a tell-all book. One source claimed to the outlet that Meghan is contemplating getting entirely candid about her time in the royal limelight, and leaving no stone unturned. This is not the case in reality, Entertainment Tonight reported yesterday. The outlet wrote that it had learned reports of Meghan writing a memoir are untrue. Harry's book drop comes less than a month after the couple's highly anticipated Netflix docuseries Harry and Meghan was released, giving never-before explicit detail about why the couple stepped back from their senior royal family roles and where their relationship with the royal family stands now. They spoke openly about the strain, alleged that the royals reportedly planted negative stories about them in media, and Harry said he has needed to make peace with the fact he may never get an apology from his family over everything that happened. Meghan could someday share more about her experience if she so chooses. The Duchess of Sussex spoke to The Cut at the end of August about how she never signed anything keeping her from speaking about what happened during her time as a working royal family member. "I can talk about my whole experience and make a choice not to," she said, adding then that she hasn't yet because she's still healing. The royals are spiraling over the possibility of the Sussexes attending King Charles's coronation. King Charles's coronation is going down in just a few months, May 6, to be exact, and it remains to be seen whether or not Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will be invited. The palace hasn't said anything about the Sussexes' invite, or lack thereof, but sources told The Sun that the couple is pretty much not welcome due to the royal family's fears that whatever they say will end up in paperback. There have been discussions among the family, including Edward and Anne, a source said. They do not want private conversations at the coronation making it into the paperback edition of Spare. Another source noted, there has been a sense of concern from Charles's side that anything discussed could be repeated or used in content that Harry will make public. That said, The Independent reported that the Sussexes will likely be invited, they'll just find a reason not to go. The king does not expect them to be at the coronation, an insider close to the royal family reveals. The family will extend the invitation, but it would be very hard for Harry and Meghan to be there given everything that has been said in the interviews and the book. The family expects Harry and Meghan to find a reason not to be there. A source previously told The Independent that the royals haven't been in touch with Harry due to a lack of trust on both sides. They really can't engage, because everything they say will be shared with the media, the insider said. It is impossible to have a conversation or write a letter because of the risk that anything they say being put in the public domain by Harry, potentially for commercial benefit. There has been a complete breakdown of trust. Meanwhile, Harry's made it clear that he's also worried about leaks, telling Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes, "The ball is very much in their court, but, you know, Meghan and I have continued to say that we will openly apologize for anything that we did wrong. But every time we ask that question, no one's telling us the specifics or anything. There needs to be a constructive conversation, one that can happen in private that doesn't get leaked." A clip of Prince Harry's 60 Minutes interview is here, and it's incredibly dramatic. Prince Harry is once again speaking out in what looks to be a wide-ranging 60 Minutes interview with Anderson Cooper next Sunday in anticipation of his memoir, Spare. First of all, here's a very dramatic trailer for the interview, which dropped last night. But we also got a clip from the show featuring Anderson saying to Harry, "One of the criticisms that you've received is that, well, okay, fine, you want to move to California, you want to step back from the institutional role, why be so public? You say you tried to do this privately. In response, we see Harry nod his head and say, and every single time I've tried to do it privately, there have been briefings and leakings and planting of stories against me and my wife. You know, the family motto is never complain, never explain. But it's just a motto. And it doesn't really hold. Harry then confirmed that there is endless complaining and explaining being done through leaks, saying, they will feed or have a conversation with the correspondent and that correspondent will literally be spoon-fed information and write the story, and then the bottom of it, they say that they've reached out to Buckingham Palace for comment. But the whole story is Buckingham Palace commenting. So when we're being told for the past 6 years, we can't put a statement out to protect you, but you do it for other members of the family, there becomes a point where silence is betrayal. Trump feverishly defends perfect calls as Georgia decision looms. Former President Donald Trump continued to defend his actions regarding the 2020 election, despite a soon-to-be-released report that could include recommendations for criminal charges against him. The public could have access to a special grand jury report produced at the end of a 7-month investigation into Trump and his followers' efforts to overturn the 2020 election in Georgia. A judge is expected to hear arguments Tuesday on whether to release the report publicly. The report could include recommendations for indictments against Trump regarding his actions to secure a win against President Joe Biden in Georgia. An investigation was launched into Trump's efforts to overturn the decision in Georgia, which showed Biden winning with 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232. During the Georgia election, Trump allegedly made a phone call to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and requested that he find the votes needed to beat Biden in the state. Trump maintained that he never did anything wrong and that he continues to believe the 2020 election was stolen in a Truth Social post published Tuesday morning. My phone call to the Secretary of State of Georgia, and a second call, which the Marxists, communists, racists, and rhinos don't even want to talk about, were perfect calls, Trump posted. Many people, including lawyers for both sides, were knowingly on the line. I was protesting a rigged and stolen election, which evidence proves it was. I won Georgia by a lot, but only needed a small number of votes from that total number. They cheated in many ways, including stuffing ballots, all caught live on tape. Biden was the first Democratic presidential candidate to secure Georgia's electoral votes since Bill Clinton. Biden was determined to be the winner of the state in December 2020 after the votes were recounted by hand. The recount added 5,800 previously uncounted votes, with 1,400 of those for Trump. The recount wasn't enough to boost Trump's lag, and Raffensperger said the election wasn't rigged but the miscount was due to human error. Trump's legal team refused to attend the hearing Tuesday, citing that the jury never subpoenaed Trump during its investigation. In their statement, the lawyers maintained that Trump didn't violate the law with his call to Raffensperger. Other Republicans testified, including Raffensperger, Senator Lindsey Graham of South Carolina, and Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani. Influential evangelical Franklin Graham said he wouldn't be endorsing Trump in the primaries. Evangelical pastor Franklin Graham said he will not endorse Trump in the 2024 GOP primaries. Graham told CBS News he won't support Trump or any candidate until after the primaries. Other evangelical pastors, like Robert Jeffress, also declined to endorse Trump in primaries. Evangelical pastor Franklin Graham said he won't endorse former President Donald Trump in the 2024 Republican presidential primary. Graham told CBS News at the March for Life rally in Washington, D.C., on Friday that he would not support any candidate until after the primaries. I'm going to stay out of it until after the primaries have finished, Graham said. I'm just not going to get involved in supporting this one over that one, he told CBS News. Let's just let the people decide. And when the dust is settled, I'll make a decision on that point. Graham, the president of the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association and the Samaritan's Pursuit, previously supported Trump in the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections. His decision mirrors another prominent evangelical pastor, Robert Jeffress, who told The Hill on Friday that he will also not endorse any candidate before the primaries. I just don't see a need to make an official endorsement 2 years out, Jeffress said. These comments come after tensions between evangelical leaders and Trump. The former president criticized evangelical leaders for not supporting his third bid for president last Thursday. "There's great disloyalty in the world of politics, and that's a sign of disloyalty," he told conservative journalist David Brody in a podcast interview.